such a way as to get that prize, everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training.
Amen.
How many of you guys gone into strict training? All of you guys, right? They do it to get a crown that will not last.
Right.
Wow. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Amen?
Amen.
All the things on this earth are subject to rust. They're subject to fall away and to decay and just, they won't be here. 100 years from now, that trophy you won, who will remember it?
That's right.
That gold medal you were so desperately after, what's going to happen to it?
Gone.
It's going to fade away. All that money you won, you know, that $1 million contract, you think of Mayweather, right? Gone. That money will perish. That money will fade away.
Amen.
We compete and fight for things that one day will no longer matter.
Right.
You know, and I think there's an example. There was a 100-meter event in 1988. It's called the Seoul Games. I'm sure some of you guys remember that.
Yep.
It's been called the dirtiest race in history because of the drug use by the competitors. The Canadian sprinter, this guy named Ben Johnson, right? He initially won, but he was stripped of his medal just days later after testing positive for anabolic steroids. You know, this guy, he won, but he got caught cheating.
That's right.
You know, and you think about it, he says Johnson later claimed that it wasn't really cheating if everyone else was doing drugs. You know, he's trying to justify himself.
That's right.
Not only that, but he says, while that was maybe not using convincing argument, Johnson had a point. His gold medal was given to the second place finisher, Carl Lewis. Anyone here know Carl Lewis?
Yeah.
That guy was awesome, right? An American. But he too had tested positive for banned stimulants.
Oh, man.
You
Come
know,
on, Carl.
And then you think about it, dang, this guy won, but then he cheated too, right? And you think about it, the Olympic trials that year had avoided, they avoided the suspension, right? But then there was a guy from Britain, Linford Christie, who was upgraded to the silver medal, but he too tested positive for steroids. The International Committee of Olympics, they later cleared that guy. And after all that, you know, he blamed this on ginseng tea. That was his excuse, that tea did that. But you know what? Look how far they were going to get this medal. They went to extra lengths to win this gold. They went to extra lengths to win this money, to get this prize, to get this victory. But you know what? It wouldn't even matter. Because in 100 years, will it matter? No, right? But that's how badly they want it. Think about your relationship with God. Are you willing to go to that length to get God in your relationship with Him? Amen?
Amen.
Are you willing to be dirty for God? I mean, I hope not. But are you willing to be that desperate? Who here is desperate for God? Who here is desperate for that relationship? Amen?
Amen.
Not only that, but you think about it. 2 Timothy 4:8. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only me, but also all who have longed for his appearing. Amen?
Amen.
It says we inherit this crown through righteousness. The righteousness of Christ, which is that what we have to earn that. We can't just go up there and say, God, I want this. God, I deserve this, right? God has to give that to you.
Amen.
Right? Because it's obtained and possessed in a righteous way only. Not by force, not by dishonesty, right? Most crowns today are gained through dishonest gain. Think about Tom Brady. What did he do to get in that Super Bowl win? That dude was dirty, but he still won the crown, no?
That's right.
Sometimes we want to get dirty so that we can win. But you know what? Here he says this crown cannot be gained by dishonesty. Sorry, Tom. So by enduring through all the discouragement, the persecution, the sufferings, even the losses in your family, I'm sure some of us have had deaths recently. We know that undoubtedly one day we will be rewarded for that crown. Amen?
Amen.
You know, and there's another passage in 1 Peter 5, verse 4 says, and when the chief shepherd appears, we will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. Amen?
Amen.
Man, when Christ comes back, when he comes back, I hope that that's me. I hope that that's you guys too. But you guys have to want it.
That's right.
You guys have to be faithful till the end. There's a race. The race starts. Once you become a disciple and get baptized, then the race starts. That's just the beginning.
Amen.
It's not over. You have a long race to run. We're going to run that race right now. But you got to think about that. We have to continually beat our bodies. We have to continually go into strict training, and we all have to go through suffering. Paul said, I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Will be revealed in us. And I love that. We have to continue to suffer in our relationship with God.
Amen.
There's ups and there's downs. There's trials, there's tribulations, there's challenges, there's deaths. There's a lot of battles. But you have to keep writing it out. It's not enough to just say, you know what, I want the blessings. You got to take the hard times too. You got to take the hits. And that's what it means to have your relationship with God. That's what it means to fight for the crown.
Amen. Now.
Man, check this out. There was a boxer, Teofilo Stevenson. This guy right here, he came into the heavyweight scene in 1972 in the Munich Games. This guy knocked his opponent out in 30 seconds.
Come on.
He was hungry. That guy wanted it, right? But they thought of him as a joke because he was Cuban. Because he wasn't one of the prestige. He wasn't one of those guys who was, elite. But this guy, every time he won, they would only face him with losers. He could only fight losers. He wasn't allowed to fight the winners, and he had to fight the ranks, right? After Stevenson won the gold medal in 1972, he won the second gold medal after that in 1976. And in 1980, he won it again.
Amen.
At the age of 28, he won 3 gold medals in the boxing ring. That guy was phenomenal, but you know what? He still didn't get that title he deserved. After retiring, before that, they offered him this contract for $1 million. And he was telling them, you know what? I don't want that. I declined, I refused, and then he retired. And people always wonder, why did you do that? Why did you retire and not take the money and continue to fight? Because he had 3-4 more years left. And he said, what's 1 million against 8 million Cubans who love me? That guy, he didn't care about the money. He didn't care about the gold. All he wanted to do was fight for his country. And in the same way, you guys have to fight for God.